Hi guys, welcome to this update video. I do hope you're doing great today. And what is that little guy right there in the West Caribbean? Well, the National Hurricane Center is marking an area where we have been noticing a lot of moisture. We've been talking about the Western Caribbean a couple of days now with that significant rain surge still ongoing. It's primarily affecting Central America, and that's going to remain the case over the coming days. So we've got that to talk about in this video. Will we see any development of it? Let's look at the possibilities and also the short-term rainfall forecast for the region. So let's get into it, and I'll try to be as brief as possible in this video while providing you with the important info. So let's go. Okay, now as we look at the satellite imagery of the North Atlantic, especially the earlier frames of this graphic here, we can see all that activity, that big blob that has gradually been decreasing in size as the evening goes on, but nonetheless, a whole lot of moisture in the West Caribbean and towards Central America especially. So we've got a huge blob there. Tropical waves are within the area as well, helping to influence all that rainfall and thunderstorm activity that is being observed. And aside from that, there are a couple more tropical waves out there in the main development region. And most islands of the Caribbean haven't been experiencing too much, as we've got some dry air and dust moving in. So for some of us, it's been quite hazy as the Saharan dust plume makes its way through. And as we zoom more into the Caribbean, here we can see all this moisture. So a lot of heavy rain towards parts of Mexico, Guatemala, earlier in Belize, going to Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, lots of moisture within that general area. Elsewhere, a couple passing showers, if anything at all. And let's look at that short-term rainfall forecast, and then we'll go on to the disturbance. Okay, and we see a lot of color towards Central America. So with that disturbance in the area, it is going to be active over the next 24 hours or so. And there's likely to be additional periods of heavy flood triggering rainfall. So that poses a threat to life. And so if you should encounter any floodwaters, as I always say, turn around, don't drown, do not take any unnecessary risks. So there'll likely be a lot more heavy rain towards parts of Central America, Mexico, Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama. Even going down to northern South America, it may get a little bit active down there. Elsewhere, scattered showers, thunderstorms. That includes the ABC Islands, Cayman Islands, the Lesser Antilles, as well as the Greater Antilles. So passing showers maybe with a few thunderstorms popping up tomorrow afternoon. It gets drier for the southern Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, but further north we see some color popping up. So it may be a little bit more active within that area. Likewise for the Florida Peninsula. So we have this area being marked this evening for some potential development, and as of now, it is in yellow, and yellow means there's a low chance of development. So we're going to be looking at the different factors that would influence development of the system briefly. First up, we've got, well, as we look at satellites, we can see it's very close to land. Land interaction is a big inhibiting factor because that pretty much prevents the system from really being able to take advantage of any other favorable environmental condition it is in. For example, it's very warm in the Caribbean right now. As we take a look at the sea surface temperatures, normally it's 26 degrees Celsius or higher that supports development. We can see here those temperatures are well underway for the Caribbean, especially where the system is. We see some 28, 29 degrees Celsius isotherms, likewise in the southern Gulf of Mexico. So those temperatures are well on their way to support development. And if it is the case, that's a big word, 2 letters, but very significant. If the system is over water for enough time, that would be what helps to influence some development of it. So if it's a case where it's going to be mostly interacting with land and it's just moving all about the place, then it won't really have the opportunity to develop, even though it will be bringing a lot of heavy rain, flood triggering rain. And as of right now, the upper level winds are not the most favorable. Let's look at this graphic. We can see the white outlines of various areas, North and South America, the Caribbean islands, Central America. The red lines indicate where the upper level winds are strong, so those areas would be unfavorable. The yellow indicates neutral, where it's not too strong but not too weak. And the green lines that we see indicate where the upper level winds are weak, so that area would be considered supportive in terms of seeing potential development. So right now it's not too favorable for development. So that's why even as we go back to the graphic, we see this arrow, because immediate development of the system is not expected. But if it should move over the southern Gulf and stay in those warm waters for long enough, then it could try to get itself together. In terms of the models are not really expecting much of the system. So first up, we have the GFS here. These green shadings indicate the moisture, and those black squiggly lines are called isobars. Isobars join areas of equal atmospheric pressure. So what we want to see is those isobars in that circular manner, that L, to show that, hey, this is a low pressure area. More than likely, we're looking at a developing system in the tropics. So as we head to Sunday, this is what our models are showing. So GFS, not showing much. It has all that moisture associated with the system, making it into the Gulf of Mexico. But do we see anything defined? Not at all. Meanwhile, there is a disturbance right now in the Eastern Pacific expected to develop over the coming days. So that is the area we see here. So even that tropical wave may help to increase the favorability of environment for that disturbance to develop. As we head to the Euro model, it is a similar story here. We see all this moisture, nothing defined. See that Eastern Pacific system getting itself together. Icon, same thing yet again. So while this may be a rainmaker for parts of the Gulf Coast, southern Texas, Mexico as well, and definitely Central America, that's going to be ongoing, it is pretty unlikely right now that the system is going to develop. Nonetheless, changes can happen. So we'll see what happens over the course of the coming days, guys. Again, if you're being affected by that rain surge, please do not take any unnecessary risks. We do not need a defined, developed system for there to be dangerous impacts because of all that heavy rain. So that is the water that's normally the concern with these major systems that may loiter within the area, guys. So please stay safe as best as you can. Listen to your local officials as well. And also, in regards to the rest of the Atlantic basin, aside from those other two tropical waves, nothing else is out there being watched at the moment. So that's pretty much what I wanted to bring to you in this update video today. And I really do hope that you found it to be quite informative. However, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments. I will get to you when I have the chance to do so. And remember to always be weatherwise.